What is the easiest way to put a loop at the end of the line? Let me show you. So really depending on application, but you need a nice strong loop at the end of your rope. There are 3 different ways that are very effective and very easy to do that are going to help you put a nice strong loop. So let's begin. It also kind of depends on, do you have 3-strand rope or do you have just like a Samson braid rope like this, a hollow braid where, you know, you can see the differences here. If I have a Samson rope or something like this where it's hollow braid, I can't really splice it or nothing efficiently and fast, I'm just gonna tie a bowline. A bowline is one of the most effective knots for, it has many uses, but it's a very strong knot, right? So no matter if you tie it properly, no matter how much tension, how much weight you put on this knot, you can always get it undone. And you just pull this little deal right here and the knot comes on. It's very fast and easy to tie, as you can see. And with practice, you can tie this knot in under 5 seconds easy. So, and I have a video for that. I'll have that in the link in the description below or right up here in one of these corners where you can go learn how to tie the bowline 2 different ways that can help you, because the bowline is honestly the king of knots. The bowline is one of the first ways, and I say having 2 different types of ropes, whether you have 3-strand or hollow braid Samson rope or some am steel rope or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I can tie a bowline in my 3-strand rope as well, but it also kind of depends. Now, if I have 3-strand rope, do I need a loop at the end of the rope that's going to be there more so temporarily, permanently? I'm going to do this. I'm going to probably take my 3-strand rope and I'm going to put a nice conventional I-splice in it. As you can see, the rope is spliced all together. This is going to be more of a permanent thing. Once you put this I-splice in, you usually don't get this undone. This is more of a permanent deal. You want a nice loop, nice eye at the end of your rope, and you have 3-strand. I'm going to do this right here. And then now you have a nice strong eye, because if you effectively, properly splice an I-splice or any splice of that matter properly, this will retain 90-95% of your rope strength, which is highly effective, because a bowline usually decreases the rope's tensile strength by 45 to 55%. So most knots, you just kind of cut it in half. Now, in the lineman trade and a lot of trades where you're doing heavy rigging, you're gonna wanna do, if you're able to, that's why a lot of people use rigging slings like this, where this has a rating on it and everything like that for different deals, whether you're going choker, you're going straight, or you're doing basket. When it comes to heavy rigging and things like that, a lot of people are just going to use a rigging sling. But in some circumstances, you don't really have a rigging sling. You can use a bowline or a bowline on a bite, or if you have 3-strand, you can do a conventional I-splice. And another thing I see guys do a lot is they'll do what we call a farmer's I-splice, and it's very fast. It's not as fast as tying a bowline. It's almost as strong as the conventional I-splice, to a point where conventional I-splice can retain a rope strength by 90-95%, which is really good. And we've done tests at work. We were curious what was stronger, the conventional I-splice or the farmer's I-splice, and they were roughly the same. By doing the farmer's I-splice, you just kind of figure out how big you want your eye to be. So you can just take about, I usually do anywhere from 6 to 9 inches. And then I'll take that and I'll just put it through a loop, and then you just pull as much you want through to get your eye size. So, I mean, if you want something like that, and then you just take your working end here and you skip 1 or 2 strands and you go through another strand. And you do that all the way to the end, to where your working end is, you can't tuck any more strands. So there we have the farmer's I-splice. As you can see, it's very fast. Like, I did all this in under a minute for sure. And this I-splice is very strong. Like I said, almost just as strong as a conventional I-splice, except this is just way faster to do. So if you have a piece of 3-strand and you want a nice strong eye in the end of your piece of 3-strand, farmer's I-splice almost always works in a pinch. I've seen a lot of guys use it and put a lot of tension and a lot of weight on it, I personally haven't used it like so much, but I have used it in a pinch where it's like, oh, I kind of want a nice strong eye at the end of my 3-strand, and I can just quickly do a farmer's eye splice. There you have a nice, a nice strong eye at the end of your 3-strand. So depending on whether you have some Samson, AM steel, whatever kind of rope like that, where I can't really do a fast eye splice in it, I'm just going to use a Bowline. When I have, quote unquote, non-spliceable rope, I'll do a Bowline. If I have 3-strand, I'll either do a conventional eye splice if I want more of a permanent eye at the end of my rope, or if I just need a quick eye splice at the end of my 3-strand rope, I'm gonna do a farmer's eye splice. Those are your 3 ways to where you can put a nice strong eye at the end of your rope. Hopefully you can learn from this video. With Blueprint, we're here to expose, teach, and educate you about blue collar career opportunities. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below any other videos that you want to see. Maybe I can teach you, help you on whatever questions you may have. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.